to say aye and no to everything that I said. Aye and no to was no good. Oh. I'm so embarrassed. You just caught me reading a collection of every Shakespeare piece. No, you're fine. Anyways. These are the top 7 YouTubers for nerd. If you're like me, when you watch a show or movie or read a book or play a video game, you want to know more about the characters or the world or maybe even like the community, anything that'll help you dive deeper into the material you just took in or whatever, you just looked at it. So anyone on this list, they could be a video essayist, they could be a reviewer, something that deepens your understanding of art and or entertainment. So if you've tracked any of that, here is the list.
Oh God, it's so good.
This is Ayami. She is asthmatic, a bit of a simp, and clearly voiced by at least a 49-year-old woman.
Hey, you know, you sound like my mom.
Your mom's dead, you're old.
No matter your experience level as an anime fan, there will always be shows that you haven't seen. Either you haven't heard of them or you've been putting them off. Whatever the reason is, if Scamboli Reviews has reviewed it, it is going to be the next thing that you watch. This guy is hilarious. He does a really good job articulating the depth of some of these animes and aspects of them you would have probably overlooked. Even for shows that I've already seen 1 or 2 times, he uncovered so many more layers than I was able to actually even appreciate in my own viewings. I'm also a little bit biased because he reviewed some of my favorite anime that I don't think get enough attention, like Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash and Hellsing Ultimate. If you like something controversial, a good introduction to his channel is called Mob Psycho is Better Than One Punch Man, where he says why he thinks that Mob Psycho is better than One Punch Man. Or you could also watch the best bad anime this season, where he talks about Misfit at Demon Academy, something that I think should be everyone's guilty pleasure. It's so bad that it is wonderful.
I can't believe you committed suicide. How could you have done this? How could you have committed suicide?
You would not believe how hot that fire is. My back is all sweat right now.
So good.
Have you ever looked at Sonic and thought, this is going to give me an existential crisis? Well, Super Eyepatch Wolf did, and now because of what he's done, I am the same way. I'm sorry, you're going to have to be okay with this because I'm so hot. Someone just blew up. Super Eyepatch Wolf takes really dumb things very seriously, and he manages to convince you that you also feel incredibly deeply about some of the dumbest things. In his video about Undertale, this simple 2D story-based pixel game, he manages to make you fully empathize with every single video game character that you've killed and the futility of free will when a higher power is at play and able to overwrite your decisions. He also just draws me in so much because you can tell how deeply he cares about everything he talks about. Nothing feels like, oh, he was forced to make a video this week, so this is the game that came out and everyone else is covering it and he's got to put his own spin on it. It's like, no, he's going to talk about Shenmue 3.
Hey, what's wrong?
I'm scared.
Me? Well...
He also manages to hit on the community of a lot of these games and franchises and shows, which adds such a greater level of depth when you can also take what the artist intended for their work and then incorporate how it influenced other people and what their own creativity was able to add to that art, which I think is really cool.
The Undertale fandom became self-perpetuating, fanworks creating new fans who would in turn create new fanworks, and you could see this new level of popularity being expressed in some really insane ways. An entire music scene built up around Undertale fan remixes. People were programming their own Undertale fan games. Kenny Omega even main evented Wrestle Kingdom 13 to Undertale entrance music.
So if you want to feel too much about too many things you should not care about, Super Eyepatch Wolf is your guy, and check him out.
So good and tasty.
This guy is the gold standard of content made for people who have a small attention span.
Budget Cuts is a stealth game in VR so convincing it takes me back to when I worked in an office for 3 years. Oh, report me to HR, will you, Karen? Well, I'll report you to fucking death.
The amount of effort this guy puts into his videos is unreal. About every 20 seconds, there is a skit or a visual gag or something involving a prop in him.
While wearing the Vive, you start to feel like your knees are about to snap off. I said your knees are about to snap off. I said your knees are about to snap. Oh, wait a minute. I said your knees are about to snap off.
It's just cutaway after cutaway, but it doesn't ever take away from it. It adds visuals and clarity to what he's saying. Also makes it so much more funny and entertaining because it's breaking up what he's talking about with things that are fun. He has primarily focused on gaming content, more or less, like reviews and his thoughts about things. But no matter what he does, I mean, he did a pickle taste test, and I did not lose focus for 1 second, and I have a very short attention span.
Oh, no.
So yeah, pretty cool guy. So if you're interested in virtual reality content, or you're just a big gamer and you love to see people talk about big games while also being funny, or you know nothing about any of that stuff and you just want to watch a very clearly talented entertainer have a blast, watch Up Is Not Jump. Comicstorian just rips the little boy out of me and he puts him in the command center of up here. You know what I mean? This guy has made superheroes interesting to me again amidst the greatest oversaturation of superhero content that has become rather lackluster in my opinion, and I thought I would never care again. He does readings and retellings and explanations of different stories and comic books and lore regarding superheroes. But what I think is one of the best things that he has to offer is his comic book readings, because he doesn't just read it, he acts out all of the different parts in the characters, and he does voices, and he has all this music, and it adds so much suspense and emotion to these comic books while you're just listening to a guy read it to you. If you're someone who's normally into podcasts or audiobooks, this is a great channel to listen to and just enjoy while you're relaxing or while you're doing something else, while you're driving a car. It doesn't matter. His content is incredible. So if you care at all about superheroes, you gotta give this guy a watch or a listen or whatever. My personal favorite of his was he made a reading of the Injustice storyline.
What happens if Superman is pushed too far?
Which I knew a little bit about and had played the second game of, but the comic books go into way more detail and they're way more wild, and he did all of the voices perfectly, so...
But Superman arrives, injuring the Kraken and grabbing Aquaman by the throat. Stop this now! I called for a ceasefire! Thank you,
Comicstorian, for presenting to me an amazing storyline in a really captivating way. I am a bit of a little cottagecore boy. I like woodland crap. I like medieval crap, but I like fantasy crap. So naturally, I am a Lord of the Rings fan. And what this guy does is he goes into the lore of Lord of the Rings, which... for any of you who care about Lord of the Rings, this is an absolute blessing. Reading the books, it can be a challenge because the writer of Lord of the Rings decided that every single blade of grass, every single puff of wind, every leaf from every tree deserves a 20-page backstory. But that's not to say that the world building of Lord of the Rings is not one of the most interesting. It's just one of the most buried in between things I don't care about, and something I would like someone to just highlight the essentials for me. And his channel does exactly that. He goes into the lore of very specific events or characters in J.R.R. Tolkien's Unfinished Tales, in the Silmarillion, in some notes that he had sent to other people, and it's just incredible. Also, he has just a great, very relaxing voice. Great thing to just throw on before bed or you know, I watch too much YouTube. PCP University is not a channel. It is a series made by a bunch of different channels like Ben saying the best guy. And what essentially it is people that know just an insane amount of knowledge of some sort of obscure niche franchise, and they teach it to a group of their friends like it is a university class.
Yeah, and that's the story of the dinosaur, Nate. Why would Angelica, if I have it right, want to now date Reginald the Weavile if Weavile is in fact a demon now?
No.
So this allows their friends to ask questions throughout it, which kind of helps answer your questions as an audience member, and it allows for jokes and a lot of fun. It serves as a sort of heaven for people whose brains work like mine, wherein you want to just take in an unholy amount of information about things that don't matter, such as Chris Chan's comic book series Sonichu, or the weirdly complex and expansive fanfiction known as Kokoro's Wish. If you're into wacky internet culture things, these guys will explain it to you in too much detail, and it is a lot of fun, and I really love it. Man, if you can't tell, I was sick recently, so my throat is just... Also, it's midnight. I didn't want to go to bed yet, so this is my excuse for staying up.
The Doctor of Poop, that's who I am.
Roller coasters, that's fun, right? Maybe not. Well, it is, so shut up. Defunctland is a really marvelous channel that does these almost documentary style videos diving into the history behind a lot of failed amusement parks, failed amusement park attractions, things like the worst ever roller coaster at Six Flags. It really does feel like you're watching either like a Netflix documentary or some sort of thing they would have shown you in school, but the guy's passion for what he's talking about ensures that you only hear the information that's interesting. There's nothing covered that is not essential to the overall story or something that is genuinely worth mentioning. My personal favorite is this guy's documentary on Action Park, which was the most dangerous theme park of all time and resulted in the death of this many people. Wow, that's too many people to have died at a theme park. Check him out, he's really good. Well, I hope you liked this video and enjoyed my voice slowly being lost as I discuss in very confused and roundabout details regarding some very nerdy channels. Everyone said they liked the last video, so I figured I would do another one. And as always, have a good one.